Hey, Diane DeWald with CreativeCatCrafts.com. Welcome back to the channel. And I've seen a couple creators in the last week do some really cool things. Meghann Andrews, we're going to use one of her little tricks on this butterfly. And then Cathy Zielske she created her own little pouncer, and I've created my own. I had seen this before. NB Cards, I believe, did this 4 years ago, and I can't remember who Cathy said she had recently seen it, but I did these backgrounds a long time ago, and I really, they're smooshed backgrounds. This one is a lot softer, and this one is splotchier. And then you've got this card. This is what we're going to recreate on camera today. And I watercolored this butterfly, but I diluted the inks too much. So that's what we're going to do. And I had tried this on, I like the vibrance of this. I don't like the background. This is hot pressed watercolor paper versus the cold press. And Meghann Andrews was using the hot press, and I had some in my stash. I've never used it. I need to practice a whole lot more because I was not a fan of this one, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to be a convert. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you everything we're going to use today. So this butterfly came from Gina K Designs Beautiful Butterflies, and it's this little guy right here. I've used several of these others, and I did find my masking magic. Finally, I found it. And I took the die from this set and I cut out a mask, and we're going to use that today. But I just wanted to point that out. I finally found my masking magic. Master Layout 2. Let me throw the dimensions up there in case you don't have Master Layouts 2. The 3.5 by 4 3/4 is the larger of the stitched rectangles. So if you don't have this set, that's over here is the dimensions for the top focal layer. And my inside is the same as the outside as far as size. And then this rectangle is our matte layer, and I used black for mine. And it is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8, and we'll cut some of that. And I just love this happy birthday from the spring clusters, so that's what we're going to use with that. And then finally on the inside, and I wish I had done different color butterflies, so we're going to change that up. You don't need to see this anymore. We're going to change this up. Instead of black, we're going to do some fun colors, but from the Just Because I Love You, which is a retired set from Gina K. I like this saying, and it says, "Sent with this handmade card are special wishes for you for a very happy birthday and joy the whole year through." I think that's perfect for the people I am sending April birthdays cards to. So let me pause you. I'll get this all set up and we'll get started on some watercolor. Okay, I've got this all set up, and I'm going to swap that out here in just a minute. I'm using my favorite smaller brush. Has got bleach in it, and I've used this before in a tutorial. And this one is my only other small brush tip. But this one's from Altenew. It's a great brush. I just really prefer these, and I'm not sure where I got it from. It might be Amazon, but I'll have to find out where that came from. I'm writing myself a note. Find out where this is from. So for the watercoloring, the inks we're going to use today are all Gina K. And for the butterfly, we're going to do Tangerine Twist and Marigold, and then Ocean Mist and Lucky Clover for the background. And we're going to start with Whisper. So this is Meghann Andrews' trick, and this is just a scrap piece of cardstock because I had the butterfly already on here, and I don't like putting a photopolymer to a photopolymer. They get stuck. So this is the watercolor paper that our cardstock I'm using. It's Canson XL. This is cold pressed, and it does have a smoother side versus a textured. So I want the smoother side up. That just didn't fit down in there very well. There. And I'm going to put that cardstock off to the side. The other cardstock we're using, since I am mailing this, I will use my 65-pound Pop Tone Black Licorice that I get from Cut Cardstock. And this is my inside top layer for my sentiment. And this is Neenah Classic Crest Solar White, 80-pound. And I also get that from Cut Cardstock. Let me just get those out of the way for a moment. And this is Meghann Andrews. So Whisper White Amalgam ink. This is a pigment ink. And we're gonna ink this butterfly up and see what we get. I want a little more there. And you're like, well, I can't see it. It's okay. This is gonna look like a total mess for a little bit. And let me clean this off. Since this is a pigment ink, I like to use Gina K's stamp cleaner. And then I go over it with a spritz of water to get any residue of that cleaner off. And so here is where the watercolor comes in. I'm going to turn this sideways, and I'm going to bring you in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Make sure I go the correct direction. And I am not removing this cardstock. And I'm going to get this other card out of the way because I am going to get it all messed up. Get this, sorry for my arm being so big. We're going to start with the Marigold and the Tangerine twist. And I'm just going to do a very light spritz because I want a lot more vibrance. And then I have just a little Dixie cup of some clean water. For some reason, I can't get the water to come out of the Altenew brush, so it is. So this is going to look messy, and this is okay. And it doesn't, as long as you stay within the butterfly outline, this is going to be fine. And I'm just trying to cover up all the open spaces. And I went a little darker towards the body. And then pull it out. And let's get the other side as well. And I'm going to move this a little. It's easier for me to pull it down then. It's a little darker towards the body. And I got to make sure I stay within the body of the butterfly. Let me see if I can add on a little more water. And pull some of this yellow this direction. Clean off that brush a little bit. See if I can get some just yellow itself. And this looks terrible right now. Bear with me. And sorry if I'm not talking. I'm trying to learn how to talk. It's like walking and chewing gum at the same time. I'm not very good at it, apparently. And I don't have a helper for my lives or my recorded videos, which is why I don't do lives. I don't have anybody to help me, so it's just me. So you just have to deal with just me. I want this orange super bright. Let's pick up more of that. I want this butterfly to really pop off this page. Okay, let's clean this brush. And then I'm going to give this butterfly just a sec to dry while I clean this up. I could have smooshed some cards on that. Oh, I should have. That was a lost opportunity and a waste of ink. Although it really wasn't all that much ink. And I'm going to cover this up. Okay, I'm going to pause you, let that cook for just a few minutes, and I'll be right back. Okay, I think it's dry enough. I had a problem earlier where the cardstock was still wet, and when I went to use my black Onyx ink, it didn't take it right away, and it took me a lot of passes. And I have noticed with this particular set, and I don't know if it's just mine, the solid portions of these butterflies, it takes several inking up to get a solid image. And I don't know if it's the watercolor paper or if it's just the stamps themselves. Not saying they're defective. It might be by design. But I want a little more there in the middle. I just don't feel like it's, let me just let it soak into the cardstock. You know, it is watercolor cardstock. There, that's better. Okay, so I'm gonna let this dry again before my next step. Even though it's a premium ink, I did put a lot of layers on that. And I just want to make sure it's dry. Okay, so the next step, I'm using VersaMark, and I had on my original card, I used the Wow Super Glossy, and you can see how that butterfly is just super, super glossy. I'm going to try this Hero Arts embossing powder and see if it is less glossy. I don't know, we'll see. So let me get my embossing buddy and VersaMark. I've been having terrible results with all of my embossing powder. My ink pad was super dry. Super dry. And now that it's all juicy, it works just beautifully. Okay, I'm going to do 2 passes of the embossing ink just to make sure. And now I'm going to pull this out of here. I'm going to put this aside real quick and just grab a piece of scrap copy paper and my embossing powder. This is clear. We're just gonna see what we get here. There. And it's all milky cloudy because we haven't melted it yet. And I'm looking for any stragglers. Nope. Okay, so let me get this back in the bottle. And I watched a video. My other reason for maybe having really bad results with embossing powders is I've been transferring them over to larger plastic bins, and I watched specifically a Wow embossing powders video, and they said leave it in the original container because these containers have anti-static properties to begin with. So that may also be a reason why my embossing with embossing powders really is terrible. So I'm going to get my gun heating here for a minute. You may or may not hear it through my microphone. But I just love how the black it's gorgeous. So let me go ahead and get this going. There it goes. Oh yeah. Get those antennae. Perfect. Perfect. I think, oh, I missed a spot on the wing right there in the middle. There you go. I missed that on the first one too. So let me just see, it's glossy. Oh, the edge of the wing. Okay. Wasn't completely melted. There, that's, oh, you know, it's such a large area that there was some right there in the center. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's still glossy. Wow, I'm doing a really bad job of melting this. Okay. It is a large area, and now you can see it. And then compared to the original, you can kind of see, I think they're about the same actually. Yeah, they are about the same, which is fine. It's all good. So here's the Cathy Zielske. So I got this magic masking sheet, and of course I cut the piece that doesn't have the slit so that I can easily peel this. But the reason I put embossing powder over this is when I did this part of it originally, this masking magic, it's not waterproof. So if water touches that black ink, because it was a dye ink, if I'd used StazOn or maybe the amalgam ink, it wouldn't have smeared. But this one smeared. So I'm using, what is this? Ocean Mist and Lucky Clover. And I'm going to lay down quite a bit of both. I'm going to put a little more up here. And here we go. So where's my pouncer? So here's my pouncer. This is just a piece of plastic wrap, and I took a sheet of paper towel, wadded it all up, and then I didn't have any hair ties or rubber bands, so I just used some of my Frog Delicate Surface Tape. And we're going to do the bottom first. So this is going to be the butterfly is in the background. And this is some green grass. And just like that. And then I can just take a towel, tidy towel, whatever you want to use to wipe it off so that you can use it over and over and over again. And this is already dry, but I soaked up a little bit of the excess water. And then we're gonna, oops, I want the blue, up here in the blue. And I'm just kind of rolling this around, picking up quite a bit of that ink. Just like that. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing with this. Soak up a little bit. and this masking magic piece, and it just pulls right off. Now this, because it's wet, it's going to lose its stickiness. So you will not be able to use that. So let me move that aside, and I'm going to clean up my excess ink here. And actually, you know what? Before I do that, I get Bristol Smooth, Strathmore Bristol Smooth, and I'm just gonna pick up some of this ink because, you know, why not? And I'm gonna put it on my drying rack. And do we have any more there? We might. Oh yeah. I like this. It's very subtle, but it's very cool. Put that on my drying rack. Now I can clean this off. Okay, done with the Strathmore, and we're done with this. Now I'm going to go ahead and get this cut, so I'll be right back. Okay, so this is, plate was starting to warp a little, and I'm just trying to determine where I want this butterfly at. I think we're going to do that right there. So let me move that to an angle. I'm going to get this cut. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm bringing in my Misty, and I'm going to move you out just, oops, got to reconnect my little remote. There, move you out just a smidge. And this is our panel. I think that's beautiful. And we're going to quickly do the happy birthday sentiment. Get this anchored down and get that spring clusters happy birthday in here. Try to get that straight. I think it's kind of crooked, just a little. There we go. And we'll use the black Onyx ink from Gina K. Hold that down for just a sec. And hold that down again. I'm just kissing the cardstock. I'm not like mooshing this, but I am trying to let the ink soak into this cardstock because this does have a rougher surface than a lot of the regular cardstock, since this is watercolor. So let me clean this happy birthday off. This is beautiful. Very beautiful. And then let me get the other piece that we need, which is from Just Because I Love You. And I've already got my panel cut out for that. And I love this sentiment. And I'm just going to put it in here. Let's make sure that it's the right direction. And it is somewhat looks like it's straight. And same thing, the black Onyx. Ink that up and just kind of kiss the cardstock. I'm going to hold it firmly in place. Try to get all the pieces and parts. One more. One more. Beautiful. beautiful. So I will clean this up, put this away, and we are almost done. One last thing from the beautiful butterflies. There's this little itty bitty butterfly, and we're going to do a marigold. I like to prime. It's got something funky on it. There we go. I like to see. Oh, that's pretty. I think it had some tangerine on it from the first time I was testing it, which is fine. That's really pretty. There. Okay. Just tap, tap, tap. There we go. I think that's beautiful. And I wish I had done that with the inside panel of the last one, but I didn't. So home stretch. Now the decision has to be made. I did the original. Oh, that's not the same color cardstock. Hang on. So my original card was on sea glass, not ocean mist. So here we go. Let me go ahead and mount this up on the mat, and then we'll figure out what base to put it on. And let me slide that just a little. There we go. And flatten that a little bit. And let's get our inside panel also mounted on the mat. Whoop, that slid on me as I put it down. Okay. Now, get that up out of the way. We have ocean mist, and I think the blue in the sky, even though this was ocean mist, I just don't know. There's more green tinge to it because I think it goes better with the sea glass between the two blues. And then you have sweet mango. Ooh, whoops. Let me move you out just a smidge. That was awfully close. Sorry about that. So that's tangerine twist. Or no, sweet mango. This is tangerine twist. I kind of like that too. That brings out the color in that butterfly. And then this is sweet clover. So that's what it looks like on this. I'm not loving the sweet mango. The tangerine twist, since I've already got a sea glass, there's our tangerine twist and our lucky clover. I may have to do a third panel because I like both of these. Drop a comment down below which one of these colors you prefer. The sweet mango, the sea glass, the ocean mist, the tangerine twist, or the lucky clover. And I think I'm going with the lucky clover on this one for now. And I don't know how to do a poll down below, so my apologies, but then this isn't a live, so that's kind of pointless. But let me move you back out so this isn't like in your face so much. And this is my We Are scoreboard, and at 4 1/4, we're going to go ahead and score this because this is a 5.5 by 8.5. So the card will be 4 1/4 by 5.5, which is your A2 size. And that cardstock cracked. I normally do white bases, so I usually don't have an issue with that. Colored cardstock, the fibers are stretched, or not stretched, they're all stretched because you're adding the ink. I found that, and this is just my own personal experience, colored cardstock tends to react differently to embossing, like embossing folders and folds and things like that. They're just different than regular white cardstock. And then the brand of regular white cardstock also matters when you're scoring and doing any kind of embossing. So this is our inside. Make sure it's going the right direction. Oh, I think this has turned out very beautifully. So thanks a lot for coming along on this journey. I very much appreciate each and every one of you, the time that you spend watching the tutorials and the things that I share. If there is something that you would like to see in a future video, go ahead, drop a comment down below in the links or in the description. Or let me rephrase that. If there is anything that you would like to see me do, drop a comment down below and I will take a look at those and let you know if I can put it into one of my future videos. I'm recording a lot in a very short amount of time. I have a nephew that's getting married in Calgary, Canada towards the end of the month, and I am lucky enough that I've been invited and I get to go watch him start his new life with his fiance, who will be his wife. Everything I've used today, I will have links down below. Some of the links are affiliates, so if you feel like shopping, I greatly appreciate you using those links because it helps support my channel with a very, very small commission at no charge to you. And that just helps me bring you tutorials such as this. And while you're down there in that description, there should also be a subscribe button. If you would click that subscribe button, if you are not already subscribed, and even if you are, go down and check and make sure that you are subscribed, because YouTube does some funny things sometimes where I have seen them unsubscribe people for various reasons without their knowledge. So hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell so you know when I post a new video the next time. And until next time, happy stamping.